In the news this week, 4-day work week for government workers. Premier to face questions as union says it should be considered during bargaining. A WAMN News exclusive.
Also tonight, how will the New South Wales election results affect WA's GST share? And the nursing union slams the government's move to adjust leave policies for healthcare workers. And later, Dr. Andrew Miller's comment.
This is The Evening News with Ivan Loom and Maliva Thorne.
Good evening. As Australia embarks on the curious path towards a 4-day work week, Premier Mark McGowan is facing questions concerning whether Western Australia's public sector workers should be offered a 4-day work week option. Union officials believe that the choice should be on the table during workplace bargaining with the government at the end of this year. Union's WA Secretary Owen Whittle joins me exclusively on this matter. Owen, thank you for joining us. Should the Premier consider it?
Oh, well, it should be considered as part of bargaining with unions. He's going to be at unions and government will be at the bargaining table towards the end of this year. This should be something that might be on the table, but to be honest, that's in the hands of working people when they put together their log of claims to take their agreements to government. Look, I think the 4-day week is an avenue to be considered for providing some flexibility and additional benefits to kind of workers as part of their work. We are seeing an international trend where it's being recognised as a productive way to keep people at work, as a way of incentivising workers to work. We do know that the state government for a long time has, successive governments have put a handbrake on wages in the public sector. Certainly this is an avenue for them to come to the table and offer non-monetary benefits to workers to keep them in the system and keep them providing essential public services.
Now, a 4-day work week sounds like a good idea for some, but it may not work for every industry.
Look, this can be a range of things that can be offered as part of a package to retain public sector workers. We know one of the big issues they've got in the health system is attracting and retaining the workforce. Offering flexibility at work, offering 4-day working weeks is one way to do it. But what I would caution to say is that some of the businesses in Australia that have adopted 4-day working weeks have actually just squeezed 5 days of working hours into 4, which goes against actually attracting and retaining staff, because many workers who have got caring responsibilities can't work those long hours 4 days a week. When we're talking about a 4-day working week, we are talking about 4 days, not 5 days squeezed into 4.
Just very quickly, what are the benefits for WA's taxpayers if the 4-day work week goes ahead for civil servants?
Well, the benefits of taxpayers will be a productive public sector delivering good services to the public. We know that the public sector delivers vital services, and we know that retaining and keeping very experienced public sector workers, whether it's in community services, health, education, emergency services, if there's a high rate of turnover of public sector workers, what we're going to find is that public services dwindle and are less effective than they could have been, whereas actually attracting and retaining good, committed public sector workers who are committed to service delivery to the community will only ever benefit the community.
And you can read the story now, only available on the WAMN Extra News Club. Owen Whittle, Secretary for Unions WA, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hi there. Are you looking for a new home or want to refinance your car mortgage to get a better rate? At AA Finance Solutions, we have the expertise and knowledge to help you to find the right loan for your needs and budgets. Contact us today. Let us help you to make your home ownership dream a reality.
AA Finance Solutions, your local mortgage broker.
WA is preparing to defend its GST share following this weekend's New South Wales state election. Despite Labor's narrow victory in the election, Premier-elect Chris Minns' pre-poll comment that his state deserves a bigger GST share may signal a new fight over the issue. Here is veteran political journalist and commentator Peter Kennedy's take on what the result means for you.
The New South Wales election result is a great result for the Labor Party. It has won back government after 12 years in opposition. Very rare in New South Wales that, in fact, a coalition serves in government for 12 years. However, the coalition government was tired. It had had problems with internal issues, and those sort of things don't go well for when election time comes around. The Labor Party in New South Wales was in great difficulties 12 years ago. It looks as if it's cleaned up its act, and Christopher Minns came across as a credible alternative leader, and he obviously is the new Labor Premier of New South Wales. So a great result for Labor, now controlling all mainland governments as well as the federal government. However, This also poses challenges for the Labor Party and particularly the Prime Minister, because New South Wales, the biggest state, 47 seats in the House of Representatives, New South Wales will have certain demands on the Labor government, the federal Labor government. Not the least of all, of course, is the GST issue, which has significance for Western Australia. So New South Wales, along with those other Labor states, particularly Victoria, will be looking for a better deal on the GST. They want more of their money back, or more of the GST pool back to look after services in their own states. They believe that Western Australia is getting a special deal and is being better looked after than it should be. The pressure will be on Mr Albanese, but also Mark McGowan as Premier and Treasurer, to make sure that Western Australia continues to get a fair deal. So going to be interesting after a honeymoon period, 6-12 months perhaps, the pressure will go on. But nevertheless, today, a significant result for the Labor Party, controlling all mainland states as well as the federal government. Peter Kennedy, WA MN News.
The State Secretary of the Australian Nursing Federation, Janet Rea, has slammed the state government's new policy concerning COVID leave for public sector employees. According to the ANF, the policy fouls nurses, midwives, doctors and other frontline health workers. The leave arrangement documents from the state government states that employees must first access personal or sick leave entitlements in the first instance.
Once again, this government has come up with a divisive policy. Casual workers can access COVID leave immediately. Our members who are on staff cannot. They have to exhaust their personal leave first before accessing COVID leave. COVID leave should be used for COVID. Maternity and paternity leave is used for that purpose. Why have the named leave COVID leave if you can't use your COVID leave when you have COVID and you have to access personal leave first?
Industrial Relations Minister Bill Johnston responded with a statement saying the new leave policies are reasonable and practical, emphasising the scheme is still the most generous compared to other states.
The WA opposition leader Shane Love has proposed a royal commission into the Perth Mint following recent money laundering accusations. Mr Love revealed to the media a letter he had written to the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. His letter comes after Minister Bill Johnston and the Perth Mint chairman faced the media this week, speaking out for the first time. In the letter, the WA Nationals leader stated that a royal commission into the Mint is crucial in order to uphold the integrity of our gold trade and our well-established international standing.
Because the Perth Mint is an important institution that deals in a variety of federal law. That's important for our trade functions, and it is only one of only two places in Australia where they actually make money, that and the Royal Australian Mint. For these reasons, I'm calling on the Prime Minister to instigate a Royal Commission. The Premier and this Minister are both compromised in this. We need to get to the bottom of what's been going on.
Western Australia has become the centre of exclusive soccer events this July, with England's Premier League giant Tottenham Hotspur facing off West Ham United in a century-old rival at the Perth Stadium. Perth will host the national exclusive event on the 19th of July, Australia's first ever London Derby match. West Ham will also participate in a friendly match with Perth Glory on the 15th of July at the Burswood Stadium. The state government's tourism department expects the event to draw massive national and international visitors, giving local businesses and the hospitality industry a $1 million economic boost. July and August also marked the descent of FIFA's Women's World Cup 2023 in Perth, with 5 matches scheduled at HBF Park.
Perth's favourite cat cafe will close its doors next month due to a last-minute twist. In a heartfelt statement released on social media this week, the cat cafe's owners broke the news that the much-beloved premises will close its doors on the 28th of April this year. The news has shocked many cat owners and cafe patrons in the community and has been followed by an outpouring of support, along with outrage over rental prices and council approvals. The business owners ended the heartfelt statement by thanking the community for their support since 2015. Owners Peppy and Chris closed the statement by saying mission accomplished, and that despite not being the way they wanted to end the business, the journey has been epic.
A joyful reunion was captured on camera this week after the police returned a stolen puppy to its owners in Redcliffe. Following investigations by the police, a 20-year-old woman has been charged over the incident. It happened at around 3:30 p.m. at a home on Buston Place on Tuesday, when an unidentified person travelling in a stolen car allegedly forced entry the property through the rear sliding door. Police stated the person then rummaged in several rooms before allegedly stealing the 12-week-old French bulldog called Rogue and taking some jewellery from the home. Authorities later received tip-offs of whereabouts of Rogue and approached the property in St. James. Rogue was allegedly located at the backyard of the address at 6 p.m. next day. The dog was safely returned to its owners. Inquiries are continuing, and authorities stated that further charges are likely to follow.
And isn't that good to see?
And a happy outcome as well. And now here's AMA WA spokesman Dr. Andrew Miller with his weekly medical and news commentary.
Hi, thanks for your time. As we move from the peaks and troughs of COVID into just a rising sea level of the virus in the community, we've seen pretty much all protections unwound, so the pendulum swung a bit too far the other way, and that's what nurses are talking about when they say that the new COVID leave policy is unfair and impractical for frontline workers. Seems like a very strange thing to do for the government to remove masks from hospitals where we know a lot of clinically vulnerable people go to seek treatment, and as we've seen in the UK, go on then to catch COVID and have bad outcomes. So while we would all like for this to have been over, that's not what the stats are showing. And unfortunately in South Australia at the moment, they're having a crisis with hospital filling up again and cases continuing. So whilst we know that the vaccines are a fantastic protection if people have had recent boosters against severe illness and against hospital admission and ICU admission and death, there's a lot in our community who are not up to date with the boosters. The virus is continually changing and moving fairly quickly. So we should be being more cautious. We should still be wearing masks in clinical areas, particularly around the elderly and others who we know have worse outcomes with the disease. And of course, we should be providing our nurses with generous leave provisions. I don't understand why government wants to be at war with healthcare workers, why they continually do things industrially as if we're the enemy. When really we all want the same thing, which is for the community to be healthy, productive, drives the economy forward and look after everyone. We saw the arrangements at the World Economic Forum in Davos where the billionaires met and they made sure that they had clean air, they had fresh ventilated air, they all wore N95 masks and they were all well tested. That's the sort of thing we should be providing for our unwell patients and for our frontline healthcare workers. Otherwise, we're just going to go through another cycle of having to cancel elective surgeries and having to, unfortunately, put up with severe disease amongst people who deserve better, quite frankly. And I think that's what the nurses are saying. We deserve better. And I couldn't agree with them more. Thanks very much for your time.
That was Dr. Andrew Miller. And now, here's Leo Palisi with what's coming up on 6 News tonight.
Thanks guys, on 6 News Live right now. Chris Minns leading Labor to victory after 12 years in opposition, meaning he will become the 47th Premier of New South Wales. Outgoing Premier Dominic Perrottet resigning as Liberal leader, saying the party needs a fresh start. And also making news, Kelly J. Keane has cut short her New Zealand tour after tomato juice was thrown on her during an Auckland rally. Watch live and on demand right now. Head to the 6 News YouTube channel, just search 6 News AU to find us, or our website 6newsau.com. For now though guys, it is back to you.
Thanks, Leo. And that's our weekly news and current affairs. We have the latest news on our website, wamnnews.com.au.
Don't forget to subscribe to the WAMN Extra News Club so we can continue our work in the community. Full details on wamnews.com.au/news/extra. From Melly and myself, we wish you good health, good night. See you next Sunday.
Thanks for watching.